You ever try Zafiro Neo?
That's a keeper.
All I really care about are my baseball cards.
Each week we break down another Better Call Saul episode in order, and we're ready to start Season 2. I've got 75 details you might not know in Season 2, Episode 1, Switch. Oh, it looks like we've transported once again to Gene's timeline. They originally planned to use this opening shot in the first episode of Season 1, as you can hear in that episode's table read.
Macro close on a spiral, which fills the frame, lazily spinning like a hypnodisc. We realize it's a Cinnabon.
My, it's been a long, long time.
It has been a long time since we've seen Gene, and it's exciting to get another glimpse at this post-Breaking Bad time frame. You could try to pin down when this is taking place based on this calendar, but there are issues with that. More about this in a minute. It will be prefaced with a spoiler warning, but if you're watching on TV and you don't have your remote handy, now would be a good time to grab it just in case. Besides Gene, the employees are Liz, Kelly, Mario, Jess, and Rudy, which is funny because the other two employees are named Raquel and Krista. They're the same real-life employees from Season 1, and they could use their real name tags because their characters' names are their real names.
Slips away.
This isn't the switch, but it is a switch to help bookend the episode. Hey, up there they stuck a Whisker Stays logo. That's one of the underrated Madrigal brands. As is typical, this is show-created graffiti, so they don't have to clear everything with real-life graffiti artists. Here's another scribe like we saw in Miho and in Breaking Bad. And it looks like Ted Beneke was here. Too bad someone wrote "is a douche" by Alberto instead. They had fishing line pulling the door wedge and digitally erased the wire. They also had glass microbeads under the wedge to help it slide, but in a cruel twist of life-imitating art, Bob ended up slipping on it and banged his knee into the door.
I got bad knees.
It was swollen for months, so it's a good thing they shot the later pool scenes first.
Somebody!
This room isn't actually at the mall, but rather at the old Algodones power plant, the same location where Daniel and Nacho meet up. I think we might be seeing daylight here, despite the fact that it's supposed to be nighttime. This sign is an inside joke. It's an exact replica, tears and all, of a sign in a stairwell in the Burbank building where the writer's room was. They always thought it was funny that using the door would cause the police to be called. There's another Whisker Stays reference, and another scribe. Later in this episode, Jimmy will tell Kim,
Trust me.
Maybe this is a sign she shouldn't have. In the book of Genesis, Moriah is where Abraham was to sacrifice his son. Perhaps this is a reference to Gene's choice of whether to sacrifice himself to the police.
2 hours later.
The janitor's listening to sportscaster Rich Eisen, a shout out to him as he's a longtime fan of the Breaking Bad universe and has interviewed Vince, Peter, and many of the cast. And now skip the next 10 seconds to avoid a minor spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Right before the end of this season aired, they revealed the Gene scenes are in 2010.
You wanted something from 2010. You wanted a specific date that matched with your timeline.
That's right.
There's quadrant framing again to show isolation. Peter Gould compared this shot to The Shining, although Tom Schnauz, who wrote and directed this episode, had La Ventura in mind. This is the only season premiere not written or co-written by Peter. That's not SG the channel member, it's Saul Goodman. It's a nod to the Shawshank Redemption. And Tom Schnauz said Gene's making a statement that Saul is no longer here. For indeed, if there was any trace of Saul Goodman left, he would have just opened the door instead of sitting there for 2 hours. This moment was one of the 15 Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul references I found in the Slip and Jimmy cartoons, so you don't have to. We're back to the same opening as last season's episode 1, although it periodically glitches to black and white. We'll keep tracking this, it's still early. The original idea was to use new content for every single episode rather than repeat them, but I really like what they ended up doing instead. Check out this cool info assembled by Bob Mojo. We'll keep coming back to this, but Better Call Saul continues a Breaking Bad trend of starting the next season basically where the previous season ended. Aha, he didn't instantly turn around. Yet that was the intention when they filmed last season's finale, and they had a shot of him turning around here instead of walking forward. It's a good thing they left wiggle room with how they edited it, because later they realized he wouldn't do that to Kim since she went to a lot of trouble to set up this opportunity and meeting. He wouldn't just leave her hanging. It's a lot like Walt's cancer screening in the mid-season finale of Breaking Bad Season 5. They filmed him getting a clean bill of health, but fortunately left it out, which enabled them to change their minds when they wrote what came next. And it reminded Peter of the transition from Breaking Bad Season 1 to Season 2, as the first season ended with Tuco driving away, but then he stops and comes back.
Hello, Howard.
James Miguel? Clifford Maine.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Clifford.
Likewise, we know all about your work on Sandpiper.
It's the famous Ed Begley Jr. He and Michael McKean are old friends and have been in lots of movies together, such as Spinal Tap. And here's the mind-blowing detail I alluded to last season. He originally read for the role of Chuck, and Vince said it was a really tough call choosing between Michael and him. I imagine that if this happened, we would have gotten the original helpless Chuck idea, and the series would have played out completely differently.
$22 for a bottle of aspirin. It's a clear pattern of overcharging.
Might be onto something here. Nice work, Jimmy.
Once you get him on your team, you'll know why I call him Charlie Hustle.
These are my associates, Brian Archuleta and Aaron Brill.
That's Jessie Ennis, the daughter of Mr. Show regular John Ennis. And Jessie herself was on Mr. Show when she was little.
I hate to do this, but could I borrow Ms. Wexler for a moment?
Pardon me.
If I take this job, does that mean the two of us? Is this gonna happen?
One thing has absolutely nothing to do with the other.
Great. Listen, I just want to say thank you, sincerely. I'm gonna have to take myself out of the running. Thank you, Howard.
Jimmy.
That was quick.
$800,000 each. I know what'd stop me.
Yeah, we did this already, Jimmy. This is the identical footage from last season, but they removed some lines to compress this 1 minute 27 second scene into 1 minute 7 seconds. They even redubbed Jimmy's humming with different timing over the same footage. This is about a 15-minute drive, at least in real life, so that's a long time to be humming the Smoke on the Water chorus. There are lots of parallels between the Breaking Bad universe and The Sopranos, and here's another one. In The Sopranos Season 2 premiere, Smoke on the Water was also heard in the car. Thanks Tucha and thanks Beat Race, who we'll see again at the end of the video.
Ciao, Caco, ladies. Ciao, Caco.
Cucumber water for customer only.
Okay. Here was the first one.
Cucumber water for customer only. No key.
That translates to "you monkey beggar." She originally called him a motherfucker, but Tom told her she couldn't say that, so she came up with this instead. Hey, he didn't inexplicably have a chair blocking the door this time. Skip McDonald, the editor, did an invisible cut here to speed up the timing between closing the door and reopening it.
Pimento sandwich.
What I want to know is why he leaves it all the way back there. This was the first scene they shot this season, and it's the same level of the same parking garage from Pimento, but a different corner. It is weird that he's approaching from a higher level, although he does that in Pimento too. I would have guessed Daniel was inspired by Kill Bill for the paint job, but it came out a year later. Patrick Fabian also played a character who drove a yellow Hummer.
Just a little faster.
The whole camera crew was originally reflected in the side of the Hummer, so they digitally removed them, but they missed some reflections.
It's me. I got a new car.
This business requires restraint. That is the opposite of restraint.
I'm proud of it.
And you be proud of it on your own time, but not with me. I'm not getting in there.
Honestly, you don't really do anything. I've been paying you the salary of 3 people to just stand behind me. Why do I need you?
I'm advising you, do not go to that meet without someone watching your back.
Yeah, well, of course you're gonna say that. I'm sorry, but this is the gravy train. And it's leaving the station right now. Seriously, last chance.
The registration sticker says May, which doesn't quite fit the story because they should last for a year and it's July.
Your services are no longer needed.
This is a real hummingbird that just happened to stop right in the middle of the frame while the camera was rolling, but it happened at a different time, so they spliced the top half of this scene with the action on the bottom half.
Hola.
The old guy?
We parted ways. Yeah, saw things differently.
This is interesting. Can I take a look?
Oh, be my guest. Check it out.
Impressive.
Thank you. Get in. Feel the leather.
Mike should have appreciated that he's a fellow dash cover enthusiast at least.
Tri-zone climate controls. So you can have a girl in a bikini and another in a parka, and they're both going to be comfortable.
You're riding around with 2 girls in your SUV. You'd be really comfortable, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to count this quick.
Here's where we learn Daniel's name as well. Wormold is Tom Schnauz's mother's maiden name. When she got married, her last name changed to Yobbs, which we saw in Breaking Bad. Tom first tried to use that name on the X-Files, but it was dismissed as too fake sounding. It looks like he needs to update his registration. The license plate says 29QSBN when we clearly saw he got a custom Playa plate. Although if we decode the VIN number, we can see that this is for a Jeep Liberty instead of a Hummer H2.
As always, you're welcome to count them.
I trust you.
Great. Thank you.
Do you think he took a moment to write his address down, or is he reciting it over and over, Walt style?
54, 59, 20, 106, 36, 52.
Jimmy's cell phone is era appropriate, but alas, the Ziploc bag is not. It's got an easy open tab that wasn't invented until over a decade later to bring to an end the era of thumb fumbles.
Yes, this is James McGill, but I'm no longer a lawyer.
So this is what a midlife crisis looks like?
Midlife clarity.
Clarity.
Kim's mouth doesn't match her words here.
Clearly explain to me why you walked out on the best job opportunity of your life.
Get in the pool and I'll tell you. And you gotta try this crab.
Why are you acting like this?
I just finally decided to be me.
Everything okay, Mr. Cumpston?
And I'm retroactively adding Ray from Field of Dreams, as that is distinct from Kevin Costner, the actor.
If you build it, I will come.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Cumpston. If you really want to talk, I'll be in the bar. Not for long.
Is that a misprint right there? It's gotta be, right?
The Zafiro Añejo?
Zafiro Añejo?
Zafiro Añejo!
Zafiro Añejo.
Yes, I'm counting Zafiro as an important Breaking Bad character. It's the fictional tequila that Gus used to conquer the cartel.
That's correct, actually.
I can't die without trying a $50 shot at tequila.
$50 a shot is of course expensive, especially for 2002, and marked up heavily from the retail bottle price. But for Don Eladio to say,
No, imposible.
I'm going to agree with many of you and say that perhaps by then it stopped being produced and became a rare treasure. Or he's just being polite because if it really was that valuable, maybe there's a risk he wouldn't share it with the crew.
We can charge that to the room, can't we?
No, we can't. He will be having a shot of your well brand, and I'll have a glass of your house red.
You got it.
This is the same bar where Jimmy had a date last season. It's not really part of a hotel or by a pool. It's in a strip mall, and the show put up this giant wall to hide the parking lot.
You're suddenly quitting the law?
Hey, there's our first glimpse of the next Breaking Bad character. I wonder if any of you spotted him this early on the first watch.
Wearing a weird pinky ring?
What are you, in the mafia now?
Ever since I got here, all I've done is try to make Chuck happy. Chuck, Chuck, Chuck. Well, no more.
You quitting the law, isn't that exactly what Chuck wants?
This is for me.
Jimmy, you're a great lawyer.
The stuff I liked about it, selling people, convincing people, I don't have to be a lawyer to do that.
Short it. Short it. Short that shit. That stock is useless. It's got no legs. It's like a circus freak minus the fun.
He is an awful lot like the persona Jimmy will eventually adopt.
I did him. Hey, what happened to my masturbator, Francesca? You got me all turned around.
What's the plan?
To be open to the universe.
Just walk the earth like Jules at the end of Pulp Fiction?
That's pretty colorful.
Whatever opportunity arises, I will take it.
Wasn't Davis and Maine an opportunity?
It's not for me. I don't want it.
Jimmy, do you remember how long you studied for that bar?
That's the sunk cost fallacy.
And he'll later try that same approach on Walt.
Remember what we went through to get this thing going in the first place?
I don't get it.
It's what's right for me.
A Thievery Corporation song is playing in the background, a nod to the thievery that's about to occur.
Donkey balls. Pure donkey balls, dude.
It's also an anachronism as the song was released a couple months after this takes place.
Wall Street's for suckers. If the Oracle doesn't have to live there, then I sure as hell don't.
That's a shout out to famous investor and fan of the show Warren Buffett, known as the Oracle. And the bartender was his chief of staff in real life. Check out the phone number on her business card.
I am the one who calls.
Like Midas, shitting gold bricks on my throne. That's why Spiegelman and Deitch want my business so bad.
Art Spiegelman and Kim Deitch are both prominent cartoonists from the underground comics movement.
I'm a golden god.
I am a golden god!
Ken is so colorful, no wonder Jimmy needs to take him down a peg or two.
What are you gonna do?
Come on, trust me. You want to understand what I'm talking about? Follow my lead.
The line magically goes sideways for one shot.
Could you settle a bet for us?
And what?
We heard him, and now we see him clearly. Ken, no last name, from Breaking Bad, often called Ken Wins because of his license plate. And he really does bring out the worst in people.
This guy sounds like he knows his stuff.
For every shot you can't see this water wall, they turned it off for sound reasons.
Is there like a financial limit to how much a person's allowed to invest?
A limit? No.
Even if it's an inheritance, you know, with like inheritance taxes and whatnot?
No.
Told you we could invest it all. An uncle on our father's side recently passed, and he left us $1.4 million.
Jimmy will continue to like the rich dead uncle story.
Uncle Murray. But what do you know? He kicked it and left me millions.
No.
Fortune favors the bold, man.
Such a fitting thing for Ken to say.
Fortune favors the brave.
It doesn't always work out.
I can give you a quick consult.
That's all right. We're going to do it ourselves through one of those online brokerage websites.
You might be putting your cash in the Hindenburg, the Andrea Doria, Corky Romano.
The Hindenburg was the infamous German airship that exploded. The SS Andrea Doria was a luxury Italian ocean liner that sank, and Corky Romano is just a bad American movie.
My name's Ken.
Viktor with a K.
This is likely inspired by Victor Frankenstein, the creator of a monster, as there will be more Frankenstein parallels.
This lovely lady?
Giselle St. Clair.
As for Giselle, there is a ballet by that name in which Giselle falls in love with a deceptive man who changes his identity.
Exotic names.
They're Dutch.
Well, Boer to be precise. Our father's side of the family is from South Africa.
Excuse me. Hi. We are sitting here now. We can use a wine list if we get a chance.
Hey, are you a tequila fan?
Yes?
You ever try Zafiro Añejo?
No, I have not, but I'm down for whatever. Through whatever she just said.
This bottle was custom made for the show using a 3D printed mold, along with the topper that Vince designed in the Breaking Bad days.
Compliments of the bartender.
Oh my god, did we drink the entire bottle?
No, yeah, we didn't.
Although in Breaking Bad, the bottle was just a Jenny Lind flask, named after the famous opera singer that appears in The Greatest Showman. You can find these flasks fairly easily. The best replica topper I've ever found is from Vulture Laboratories, although they're not being made anymore. Not that I'm obsessed with Zafiro Añejo or anything.
Let's do this. Folks, it's been a pleasure.
Oops, I got that.
Can't let you do it, son.
Wait, what? Ken, we're the greatest.
Call me, guys.
Bye. Try and stop us.
Hey, is this right?
Yes, sir. It is.
I can't quite make out the text on the receipt, but a Jenny Lind flask holds a quart, so let's say they had 17 shots. $50 each means $850 in tequila alone. They did also order food, though. Jonathan Banks believes
Our tab was $900 plus the tip.
and supposedly the actor who played the waiter thinks the bill was between $800 and $900. I love how he just walks away. This chess image appears to be an intentional statement on what just happened, as the artwork is wrinkled and in real life there's a TV there.
Zafiro Añejo!
Holy crap.
She loves her some Slippin' Jimmy. We saw evidence of this with the billboard stunt. Ray Seahorn, who plays Kim, painted these herself. Ray believes this was not their first time, in part because of this line.
I'm not talking dirty to you.
Can I borrow that when you're done?
No, that's gross.
Come on.
What?
I'll,
No!
Come on, I'll do it right now.
I don't care.
I need to brush
I don't
my
have
teeth.
an extra, it's not my problem. Good, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, me too. Wait till you see what I floss with.
As in Breaking Bad, the topper becomes a nice symbol of the toxic lengths people will go to for love.
That's a keeper.
Don Eladio and Ken aren't exactly sympathetic victims, but Zafiro is still an accomplice to these bad actions.
Wouldn't it be great if we could do that every night?
Yes, it would, but we can't.
Kim definitely loves classic movies, as these posters reinforce, although the plots of these tie in nicely with Slippin' Schemes. The Thrill Hunter is about a guy who pretends to be a race car driver but is found out to be a fake. Cendrillon is about a girl who hides her true identity to ensnare a prince.
You got somewhere to go?
Yeah, I got somewhere.
They kept her apartment pretty consistent with the glimpse we got from season 1, even though this set didn't exist yet. I outlined the differences in the Nacho video. There are the New Mexico Reports books that Jimmy used last season. They also appeared in Breaking Bad. The room feels a little staged to me. She even has an empty vase and one of those decorative bowls of balls you see in every corporate apartment in the world. This is the same car, a T-13, that Officer Jaycox used when he went to Chuck's house, even though these are different officers. They left a real-life house number visible, which doesn't match the address we saw on Daniel's registration, and I don't think he moved since buying this car.
Daniel Warmalt. I'm Officer Baker. This is Officer Saxton.
Officer Saxton is a Breaking Bad character. He showed up at the White residence when Skylar called the cops on Walt.
We can't arrest a man for breaking into his own house.
However, a mistake has been made. He is intended to be the same character, but although they call him Officer Saxton and his name tag clearly says Saxton, in Breaking Bad his name tag said Savage.
It's over here.
Daniel has a 70s Chicago Cubs pennant, which is a bit of a coincidence considering the McGill-Chicago connection. In reality, it's just a reused prop from this Chicago area 1973 scene filmed for season 1 but used later this season.
I had a baseball card collection. They must have jimmied it open or something.
Is anything else taken?
Cash. A fair bit.
How much cash?
All I really care about are my baseball cards. I have a Topps Mickey Mantle rookie card.
Baseball card aficionados would tell you this isn't a true rookie card, but it is the most prized baseball card.
Mint, 60-40, 90-10 on the reverse.
That refers to how centered the contents are, although most card grading would not consider something this off-center to be mint. The value depends greatly on the condition, but a mint condition one sold for $12.6 million about 3 years ago. If we ignore his mint comment, his card could still be worth about $250,000, at least today.
Time is of the essence here. Guys.
I mean, are you sure they weren't looking for anything else?
Like what?
I don't know. Just wondering your thoughts.
I assume more baseball cards.
Pretty sweet Hummer parked in the driveway.
It's a lease.
Daniel should have been less like Walt and Ted and more like Skylar. Okay, not that much like Skylar, more like this.
You know, they say Arnold Schwarzenegger is the reason that Hummers exist.
It's true, he was behind the push to make a civilian version.
The priority is my baseball cards.
Of course.
Can I get you the list so you can start investigating?
Yeah.
It looks like Daniel has some stuff from spending time with the real Price, his nephew, like this drawing, maybe of Daniel, and something from the zoo/aquarium.
There's something wrong with this picture.
They shot this part during sunset so the crane wouldn't make a shadow. This wasn't a great idea for Jimmy to come back to the same hotel, as it seems like Ken could be a regular. Once again, they used digitally removed fishing line here, this time to move Bob where they wanted him.
You're slipping, Jimmy.
Jimmy's ring now has red string on it, simultaneously representing criminality and having smaller fingers than Marco. They modeled this guy's outfit off of Sean Connery's infamous onesie in Goldfinger.
It's me again. Listen, I'm looking at the Mark. Think Thurston Howell III if he shacked up with Ginger.
Thurston was the millionaire from Gilligan's Island, and Ginger was the movie star.
I'm watching the fattest, slowest water buffalo expose his neck to me, and I am the lioness ready to strike. Get out here. Bye.
This shot was inspired by this minute-long shot of quiet contemplation in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jimmy realizes that Kim needs more than thrilling cons, so he decides to re-enter her world.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. I need the number of a law firm, Davis and Maine.
His legs instantly cross when the camera angle changes. Jimmy's back to being a dead man facing the dawn. And what's he facing? Davis and Maine, which was named after a restaurant in Richmond, Virginia, Vince's hometown. In real life, this is a library in Albuquerque, right down the street from the Grove, Lydia's go-to spot in Breaking Bad. I can't imagine the effort involved in cleaning this up, but they put all these red chips outside to make it look more like Santa Fe. The costume designer switched Jimmy from his signature brown double-breasted suits in Season 1 to a gray single-breasted suit in an effort to appear more legitimate. Could he have been inspired by last episode's inflatable? The lobby is the library's real lobby, with the giant bookshelves behind the front desk covered with a giant mural. Now this part of the office is a set. That is an impressive office. It even has a fireplace.
There are a few options on the company cars. We can arrange a test drive whenever you'd like.
Company car, wow.
This extra isn't wearing shoes. People's shoes are making loud noises, so someone suggested that everyone take them off, but it wasn't ever intended for bare feet to be on camera. In this case, is this empty suit slippin'?
He's kind of bending over backwards to fit into this law firm.
The artist, Miles Toland, called this piece Geometric Abductions, but now sells the print as Flippin' Jimmy. He adapted it from a giant outdoor mural he painted in India.
There are so many ways to analyze it and to say what it means, but the truth is it just feels right.
It echoes what we saw in the earlier pool shot in intentional detail.
This is, interesting.
If this isn't to your taste, we have a collection of art in-house. I can put together some samples.
I like this.
Anything special you want stocked in the fridge?
Omar, I'm pretty low maintenance.
Omar is played by an Omar. That was a coincidence as they had the character name chosen before casting him.
Do we get a choice of desks?
What were you thinking?
Coco Bolo? Coco Bolo.
Coco Bolo desk?
Coco Bolo desk.
I'll get right on that.
You're flipping Jimmy. You're a real lawyer.
I do care. I care very much.
The reality is that we don't know what the switch does, but the script points out that Jimmy's action means he's still not quite ready to live by anyone else's rules. Going into the episode, they led us to believe that switch could refer to the moment Jimmy becomes Saul. Instead, it's a small act of rebellion, like the graffiti at the beginning, but this is also meant to contrast Jimmy's current fearlessness with Gene being afraid to open that door. This is Todd Sofer. He was a crew member and one of the few actors who appeared in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and extra online content. He passed away in 2015, 4 months before this aired. Congratulations and thanks to the new 1-year members! Fudzup, Machinita, ManLOL Things, Roshi710, Atomic Waffle, and Poor Performance Indeed. Say hi to the 6-month members! Rava Coleone, Shebas Dev, Chloe Medusa, Ismail Valenzuela Barragan, ha 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 ha. Green Ducky, Kaiju B, Melodies, The Raikari, Huey Wyatt, Miles Meyer, Labacus Peppy, Sprite Cranberry, Nawil, Brand Pros, Vonix, Jagged Jason, Epic Fail Gaming, Garo, Emetma, Adam Coots, Murgoose, Elijah Diaz, Joel Farrelly, Bruno, Rosh, Luke Angus, Tenix, Terry, Solaire Lover 420, Stimuse, Prangle, Chulane, Geraldo, Herpaderp, Wendell from BB, Megamat97, Gabriel S, J-Man Space, Sleepy Brownie, Hunter Wiggles, Jacob, Bonesaws Ready 47, Scott Gnome, Nathan for the Lols, Lorena, Eggplant, Skatebush Media, Wyatt Sunley, Azunko 23, Florian Gilibert, Holiday Penguin, Derek Russell, Willius 19, Yannick, Potism, Fred MK27, H7HJ59FH3F, Tracer, and Nikes. Also, I want to fix my pronunciation of Chilk and Star Ouroboros. Now say hi to the new members: Austin Murphy, El Madbro, Jake Scully, Swaff, Nico F. Fioretti, Dr. Fingerbum MD, French Fries QC, Mason the Cathedral, Dying JDM Heart Shelter, Leo456, Wraith King, Maymay, Zorg, Dexirian, Caleb Villa, Bailey Buchanan, Luis Enrique Sierra Salazar, Totally Not Uni, Partridge, Webstar, Beneco Braz, Adam 1, Sam Dark, Paulo Enrique Oca and Zero, Miguel Calzada, Forward Today, Dark Mountain, Slapjacko 404, Burko, Wazadekin, Shul Donovich at 0, Chrissy Baglin, Selma Leverance, Winarko Nanthiwani, Breeze, It's Dean Machine, Ryan Chirilla, Mohan Saxena, Jared Haygood, February, Alyssa, Kaiser, The One and Only Beat Rice, Nut Guy, David Allen, Stinky Balls, Benny, Songbirder, I Like Luna, Simone Allegra, Bidoof, Reese IOW, Elise Page, Maddie, Otto and Kai, Creaky, Henrik 3141, Kathriron 1, Wolfwagon, Anonymous 8, Banana, Naomi Wave, K Chris, Cleep, Henri Lavion, Cameron Kenneth, Wizzless Ridiculous, Joey Lidish, Eric Snow, Reg, Yalu, iBoy, Lost Pixel, Crab, Nathan Penry, Sebastian Adams, Certified Tomfooler, Adam vs. Movies, Aiden Curry, Parallax Pete, Lucas Kogrossi, Soy Milk, Mawa, Roblox Myth Hunters Official, Ralsand, Nikita Kravetsky, Morgan's Toy Box, Breakfast Eddie, Nuss, Aortum Dovely, Jog Clemson, Answers Time, Mino Geo, Galactica, Cameron McConnell, Mishomoto, Taha Tuna, Shmeestor, Sis the Cat, Cabell, Danton Fanton, Andy B, It's Mishki, Grace, Brodude, Promunchkin94, Dylan F, Deadface, Addititus, Burnt Fuse, Liberty, Jessica Grace Kane, Bender, Mason, Callum Hodge, Just Here to Leave, Peter Burgess, Aimu, Andreas Satomas, Daniel, and Hyder S. Next week, it's time for some pie. What you do with the pie is up to you.
Fucking editors.
Okay. Good energy, got it?
I like you, editors.
Longer.
Sorry,
More
this
height.
is open.
Sorry.
Thank you. Set. Set. Here we go. And action. Let's cut it.